1. Before a man becomes a priest and is allowed to hear confessions, he must complete many years of study and training. Today, this usually includes 4 years of preparation after high school, 2 to 3 years of philosophy, and 4 years of theology, canon law, church history, and scripture. This long, serious training usually does not attract irresponsible or careless men. 2. After becoming a priest, he is constantly reminded of his duties by his superiors and through his daily prayer life. Every priest must pray the breviary every day. These spiritual routines help him receive God's grace and stay faithful to his responsibilities, especially the very serious duty of keeping everything said in confession completely secret. What is the seal of confession? It means that a priest must keep absolutely secret everything he hears in confession. 1. A priest may never break the seal of confession, even to save his own life or prevent a major disaster. He must act as if he never heard anything. This is why we should never be too embarrassed or afraid to confess our mortal sins. In the late 1300s, King Wenceslaus of Bohemia ordered Saint John Nepomucene to be drowned because the saint refused to reveal what the queen had confessed. He stayed faithful even with threats and promises. When the church began his canonization many years later, his tongue was found unchanged, as if alive. 2. The seal of confession must be kept even in a court of law, because God's law is higher than human law. In the early 1800s, Father Coleman, a Jesuit priest in New York, was called to court to testify in a case about stolen goods. It was believed he knew the truth from confession, because he had returned the items to the owner. He refused to speak and was put on trial for contempt of court. He was not punished, and soon after, New York passed a law saying priests could not be forced to reveal anything learned in confession. However, not all places have such a law, so priests in court are still at risk when they refuse to speak. 3. It would be a mortal sin for a priest to reveal even a small venial sin learned in confession. A priest who breaks the seal is excommunicated, and only the Pope can lift that penalty. Although some priests have sadly left the faith, none has ever been known to break the seal of confession. A story from medieval France tells of a castle chaplain who heard a man confess that he planned to help attack the castle that very night. The chaplain tried to stop him, but the man refused. The priest denied him absolution, but told no one, and stayed in the castle ready to die. The next morning the man returned and said he had only been testing whether the priest would betray him. Seeing that the priest kept the secret, he asked to confess all his sins sincerely. 4. A penitent may give the priest permission to use information from confession, and the priest may do so, but he must still be very careful so no one suspects he broke the seal. Enemies of the church have always tried to attack the seal of confession, but by God's grace, they have not succeeded. Are penitents bound by the seal of confession? No. Penitents are not required to keep anything secret, but they are encouraged not to repeat what the priest told them. 1. Penitents should avoid talking about the priest's advice, the penance he gave, and so on. One reason is that if we misunderstand the priest and repeat it wrongly, he cannot defend himself. Another reason is that each penitent is different. A penance or advice suited for one person may not be good for someone else, just like different patients need different medicines. 2. If we overhear someone else's confession by accident, we are strictly required to keep it secret. Are we free to choose our confessor? Yes, we can choose any priest we want. 1. It is wise to have a regular confessor. He gets to know our personality and struggles and can guide us better. A confessor is like a doctor. If a sick person goes to a different doctor every week and never follows one doctor's plan, he won't get better. In the same way, a penitent who constantly changes confessors may not grow spiritually. 2. We should choose a wise confessor and follow his guidance. Still, for our own peace of mind, We should not be afraid to change confessors when necessary. We shouldn't become so attached to one priest that we can't confess to anyone else. If we change confessors, we should not bring up past advice unless needed, because the old confessor cannot defend or explain himself. 3. Some people hide mortal sins because they are embarrassed to tell their usual confessor. They should go to a different priest so they can confess honestly. They should also remember that the priest, who represents Christ, must keep everything secret forever. 4. People who feel too ashamed to confess at all should remember that at the end of the world their sins will be revealed before everyone if they die unrepentant. It is far better to confess privately to one priest, who may not even know us, and who is bound to secrecy. Better to confess now than suffer in hell forever. Also, priests welcome sincere penitents. They are happy when someone truly repents and wants to turn away from sin. Jesus himself said there is great joy in heaven over one sinner who repents.